In a large and beautiful home, there once lived a father who had 2 sons. The older son was, how should we say this, somewhat of a nerd.
I'll take that as a compliment.
The older son got straight A's in all his classes. He never, ever broke any rule that his father gave him. He stood up straight, never said bad words, and always made sure to avoid being seen with his younger brother. The younger brother was, how should we put this, a little bit bad.
I'll take that as a compliment.
The younger brother thought rules were made to be broken. He played his music loud and stayed out all hours of the night, getting up to all kinds of mischief. Though both of his boys were so different, the father loved them each in their own way and wanted them to be happy. The boys grew up in their father's house and spent their days studying or playing rock and roll. You can guess who did which. Until one day, the younger son approached his father with a request.
Hey, Daddy-o, I got a question for ya.
Yes, my son.
Well, I just need to let you know that I'm planning on getting out of here sometime real soon. This town is a little too small for a guy as cool as me. I want to live in the city where the lights are bright and the fish sticks are hot. I can't wait any longer. I want you to give me my inheritance.
An inheritance is money that a father would give a son, except it only belonged to the son if the father died. When a father died, his money and possessions would be passed to his children. So asking for his inheritance early was like the younger son telling his father he wished he was dead. The father was hurt, of course, and said,
My son, how could you ask such a thing? Would you wish me dead?
Well, I mean, I've been waiting, but you're still looking pretty healthy to me, and I gotta blow this popsicle stand. I mean, no offense, but show me the money, baby.
The father knew his youngest son wouldn't do anything good with the money, and it grieved him to think that his son would leave their home. So it was with a heavy heart that he said,
My son, I give you your inheritance, your full share of all I've earned in my lifetime. May you use it for good and come to no harm. I give it to you with open hands.
Well, the son couldn't believe it. He just knew his old man would say yes, and now he was rich, rich, rich. After that, the younger son sped off as fast as he could to the bright lights of the city. And before you could bat an eye, he was living it up with all the craziest people in all the craziest clubs. With all this wild living, the money didn't last long, of course. Before too long, all his money was gone, and all his new friends were gone too.
Hey, where you going?
Not around you anymore, that's for sure. Later, loser.
The younger son didn't know what to do. With all his money gone, what would he do? How would he survive? Soon, his tummy was growling.
I could really go for some nice fish sticks right about now.
So he set off in search of a way to feed his hungry belly. He wandered further and further away from the city until he was in the rolling hills of the countryside. There he spotted a farm and walked up to the house. He knocked on the door, and when someone answered, he said,
Excuse me, but I seem to have run out of money. I'm pretty hungry, and I was wondering if maybe I could work for you in exchange for some food.
The people there said they needed help feeding their pigs every day, and that if he did that, he could eat the leftover scraps of pig food.
Pig food? Well, okay. I guess that's pretty much my only choice at this point.
So the younger son worked and worked in the pig pen, getting muddy and eating the disgusting pig scraps, until one day he came to his senses and said to himself,
Wait a minute! What the heck am I doing? My dad has lots of people who work for him, and they don't have to eat pig food. I'm gonna go back home and tell my dad that I know I don't deserve to be his kid anymore, but maybe I could work for him. At least I wouldn't have to eat this stuff anymore. Peace out, piggies!
So the younger son walked the many miles back to his father's house. The whole way home, he practiced the speech he was going to give his dad.
Hey, Dad, so we're not doing it, but I'm going. I didn't mean you're really not, so maybe you can work here, you know?
What the younger son didn't know was that every day at about this time, his father would sit on their front porch. His eyes would scan the road, hoping to see his boy returning down the path. This evening, the father rubbed his eyes. Who could that be coming towards their house? It looked like his son, but skinnier and dirtier. And then the father saw the particular way the boy on the road tilted his head in the sun. And he knew that his boy, his crazy, mischievous boy, had come home. The father didn't even stop to put on his shoes. He took off towards his son and ran so fast and hugged him so hard that they fell in a heap on the road.
What the? Oh! Dad, it's you! Oh, I have something to say to you, Dad. I treated you really bad. I didn't ever appreciate anything you did for me, and I don't deserve to be called your son anymore. But I know you treat the people who work for you really nice, so I was wondering if maybe...
But before the boy could finish, the father said,
my son, I have looked for you every day. I feared I would never see you again. I thought you were dead. You are still my son, and I still love you. I never stopped loving you. Now let's get you cleaned up. I think the only thing to do now is to throw you a welcome home party.
Before the son knew it, he was dressed in his own father's best suit. And he could smell delicious treats being cooked up in the kitchen.
Fish sticks.
That seems like the end of the story, doesn't it? But it's not actually. Remember, the father had 2 sons, and his oldest son was upstairs in the house working for his father when he heard music and laughter and a party going on. He came into the room and saw none other than his no-good little brother. And even worse, his brother was wearing their dad's best suit. He felt like he was going to explode.
What the heck is going on here? What are you doing here? How could you even think of showing your face around here again? You've got some nerve, mister. Dad, can you believe this? And he was rude enough to steal your suit and throw another of his crazy parties.
But the father interrupted him and said,
No, my son. He didn't steal my suit and throw himself a party. I gave him my suit, and I'm throwing him a welcome home party.
What? Are you crazy? What about me? Huh? I worked for you all these years, and you never threw me a party. What am I, burnt fish sticks?
No, my son. I have treasured every day I've had with you. But we thought your brother was dead, and here he is alive. We thought he was lost, but here he is found.
and that is the end of the never says what happened to the two boys. Did the older son join the party? Did the younger son know how much his dad missed him? We don't know. What we do know is that there was a father who had two sons, one very good at being very good, whose heart was hard and proud, and the other who broke all the rules but came home in the end. And how did the father feel about his two sons?
I loved them both. I gave them all I had, and I would do it all over again. My love is so big, so high, so deep, so wide. I didn't want to hold anything back. That's how I feel about my boys, and that's never going to change.